Hello everyone, I am Madhura Merikar. I am from BENTC and today we are going to be talking about the different rounds in the placement drives, how to prepare for them, and what would be the tips to ace the placements. I am placed in Persistent Systems for the role of software engineer, and my package is 4.71 LPA. Yes, let's get into it. The different rounds in a particular company's placement drives would be the pre-placement talk, the aptitude test, the coding rounds, technical interview, and then the HR or managerial interview. Basically, earlier we had group discussions, but right now I've not seen any company which is having group discussions online. So yes, the first and the most important test, the first round would be the aptitude test. This is mostly a elimination round in all of the companies. This is the best filtering method they use to filter out the students. Yes, we have the quantitative aptitude test, then the logical aptitude, verbal aptitude, technical aptitude, behavioral aptitude, and gaming aptitude. In the quantitative aptitude, we have the sums or the numericals based on the high school maths which we've done earlier. This is easy. It is a bit conceptual, like if you know the concept you can get away with all those sums. Then there is logical aptitude. Logical aptitude consists of images or the patterns, and you have to guess the relation between them, or the missing pattern or the missing image. Then the verbal aptitude consists of English and how well you are with your English, and also the vocabulary and grammar. Then technical aptitude, it has mainly 2 to 3 major subjects like operating systems, DBMS, computer networks, DSA, and OOPS. The behavioral aptitude has questions regarding situations like how would you react in a particular situation, what would your response be, or what would you do if a particular situation is there. The gaming aptitude, it is sort of a new one. It is asked in many companies, wherein you would be given a game, and based on the directions you have to complete the game in 5 to 6 minutes. Yes, these are the different types of aptitude you will see in the aptitude test of all companies. For the preparation of aptitude, I think that there are various channels available on YouTube. I found the videos of Career Ride and Freshers World to be informative, and they also covered sums. For practice, you can use the R.S. Agarwal book or the India Bigs website or the Career Ride website, wherein you would get different types of sums related to all these type of aptitude test. Yes, that would be all for the aptitude test. The key to cracking the aptitude round is doing a lot of practice and setting a time for yourself. It is not needed to solve all the questions in the aptitude test. The cutoff is not mentioned by any of the company, but yes, try practicing as much as you can beforehand, and get to know the different types of aptitude tests the company is having. Like go on some sites like prepinsta.com or face prep. You would get the format of the each company you would be giving the test of. Yes, do a thorough research before sitting for any of the company drive, what all rounds are there. Yes, that questions you have to ask in the pre-placement round, that what is the format of the test, how many questions are going to be there, what would be the cutoff, or is this an elimination round or not. Yes, that would be all for the aptitude test. The next round would be the coding round. For the coding round, the first thing you have to do is choose a programming language, any language you're comfortable in, but usually Java and C++ are the ones preferred by the coders. Be thorough with your DSA concepts. The main question asked in all the coding rounds are based on data structure, so you have to use a data structure while solving the sums, and go through specific companies previously asked coding questions. So you would get the different questions asked in a company on Geeks for Geeks or on Lead Code. So go through the questions, see how they are solved, try to provide a optimized solution, not a brute force one. And practice on various coding platforms. So practicing on coding platforms has a different importance for your placement preparation. The more you practice, the good you get with cracking the placement, the coding rounds in your placement. So the different platforms are HackerRank, LeetCode, and CodeChef. The main significance is that when you practice on the platforms, you get an idea how to handle the interface while you give the coding round, because you are very anxious during your coding rounds and you have very less time to solve the codes. So if you are already familiar with the style, the compiler, and the test cases and everything that happens in the coding round, you would have an edge over other students, because I've seen many students don't even know how to see the how to add the custom test cases, or how to write the code in the what is the driver code or what is the function you have to write. So yes, practice as much as you can on the coding platforms, and the hacker rank is specially for beginners. You would get the solution there also, but try to practice without looking the solution and try to develop an algorithm first and then start coding. Don't just start coding and typing the solution. If you know something, read the problem statement carefully and go through the explanations. They have given the examples, how to what is the input and output of various test cases. So yes, that helps. And as far as the coding rounds are concerned, you have to be thorough in and out of your DSA concepts, the advanced DSA topics too. The coding questions in the various rounds are like, one question is easy and the second one is pretty tough, medium level questions. So the key is practicing more and more as you get comfortable with different kinds of questions on coding platforms. The more easier would be your coding round, the greater would be your chance in cracking the placement for the coding round. So yes, that would be all for the coding round. The next is the technical interview. So now, as you are ahead in your pipeline of your placement process, you wouldn't want to jinx it for your technical interview. This is the chance where you can interact with the recruiting person. So be presentable, be humble and polite, ask questions and doubts. We often get scared of the interviewer or the panelist, but if we show a different type of interaction, or if we are asking questions and doubts for the questions which you didn't understand, then yes, the interviewer helps us. They also guide us in a way where if he knows that you are going in a wrong direction, then he prompts the answer, or he sometimes guides you towards the right answers. The main question asked in a technical interview are the subject basics like DSA, DBMS, CNS, OOPS, operating systems, and some of the SQL queries. These are the most important subjects for your technical interview. At least the basics of these subjects, and the various sites have like Java T Point and also GFG. They have last minute notes of these subjects. So before an interview, you cannot just take the textbook and study for like 2 to 3 hours per subject. You should be thorough with all these subjects before your placement, before your preparation. For the last minute preparation, you can just see YouTube videos, or go on the links from GFG and Java T Point for the last minute notes. The next point would be to be thorough with your resume, because some interviews, they directly start from your resume. They ask you to give an introduction of yourself, and then ask questions based on your resume. So don't lie on your resume. Add only the points which you have really done, or the certifications or anything you are adding on the resume should be true. That you should not write anything just for the sake of writing, because the questions can be asked on that topics, and there you can face some difficulties. The technical interviewer also asks about any relevant work experience or any internship experience you have. So yes, in my interview also I drive the interview to my internship experience. The interviewer asked me many questions, many technical questions, but as soon as he asked about my internship, and I was thorough with the answers beforehand. So yes, that proved to be something because of which I think I got selected. uh, if you don't have any internship experience, you can also talk about the volunteering experience or anything, any activities, extra activities where you have led your team or managed some things. So yes, that also works, but be thorough with all your accomplishments beforehand. The main question, the interview is like 50% based on your projects, the major final year project, and also the mini projects you have done in your earlier engineering years, and also the new technologies like machine learning or data science or cloud. So yes, these are the domains, new technologies or new domains that you should have a basic understanding in. So yeah, that's all about the technical interview. And the key to cracking a technical interview is your communication skill and your confidence and how you present yourself. If you don't know any particular answer, or if you are not able to recollect it, then don't just say that I don't know the answer or sit there quietly. You can answer it in a way that yes, sir, I'm not familiar with this domain, but if it is required for my role, then I would definitely work upon it. Or answers wherein you can show that yes, you are not familiar with the topic, but you will learn, or you will go out of the way to be prepared for that the role that you are applying for. So the technical interview, the main purpose of the technical interview is not just about your knowledge, it is about your attitude towards the company's placement drives. You can just be yourself, be honest, and uh, keep the points in mind which I have told you. So yes, that would be all for the technical interview. The next interview would be an HR interview. So for the HR interview, prepare an introduction script. Be honest, go through the company's website, have a basic understanding about company culture and the domains, because many times the interviewer asks that what do you know about the company, or what do you think that what are the various domains in our company. Do not rush to the compensation part. Do not just ask about what would be my package or what would be the salary. So wait for your turn, the interviewer would ask. So further, prepare situational questions beforehand, like what was the most difficult moment you had in your life, or what would you do if you want to take a leave, or what would you say to your manager if he does something unethical with you. And also, do not pace yourself. Do not speak very fast or very slow. Keep a steady pace, and understand the question first and then answer it. Interact well, ask questions wherever you feel the need. So yes, for both the interviews you have to be interactive and communicative, and also ask questions wherever you feel that you are not getting the question, or you are not clear with what the interviewer wants to ask you. So yes, that's all about the HR interview. So yes, that was all about the placement drives. The next thing would be your resume preparation. So the first and the most important point is choosing the right resume format. So the resume should not be too colorful or too plain. It should have a right format, and the standard format for making a resume is the latex format. You can go on overleaf.com and choose any template you like, and prepare a resume on that site. There are various sites like Novo Resume and Resume Maker too, but I would prefer that you should all have a standard latex format of your resume. Then start with a heading statement, a resume summary or resume objective, like uh, a line or two about yourself, and add your GitHub, LinkedIn profile links. So yes, this is the most important thing the recruiter looks in a resume right now. If you add your profile links, then it would be easy for the person who's recruiting you to get to know you a little more, or yes, he can go through your repositories or your LinkedIn profile too. List major and minor projects and add project links. So don't just write the name of the project. Write all the description. What was your role in the project? Add a link to your project, the GitHub link, wherein the recruiter can see what you have really done, or you have just copied the project from somewhere. Also write the tools and technology used in the particular project and the team members, how many people contributed in that project, what was your role. So yes, and also list your relevant work experience and key achievements. If you don't have any internship, that is okay. But if you are in second year or third year right now, you can try to get in an internship or some task based courses where you can add it in your work experience field. Also the key achievements, like your star rating or on coding platforms, or if you are having any recognitions outside of college or extracurricular activities. List your education correctly. Don't write the duration of your schooling to 10 years or anything like that. Write your engineering college, the degree name, your it is okay to add the percentage or the CGPA, or if it is good, if it is a slightly if you have a slightly less pointer, then don't add it. Your high school would be okay. There is no need to write your primary education from where you did your schooling. The high school and engineering college is okay to be mentioned. Put relevant skills that fit the job description. If you're applying for UI or graphic designing or something sort of that job, then add the projects you have done in those particular domains. If you are from ENTC, like I'm from ENTC, and we have many projects for third year, but you are applying for a position of software engineer or something in the IT department, so don't add the projects you have done in the electronics field. Do some extra projects, show that you are interested in both the fields. You can add your education as B in ENTC, and add projects in different fields, like a front end or a full stack project or anything like that. Just be relevant to the job description. The next important point would be certifications or adding the volunteering experience. Apart from your college syllabus, apart from all the projects or the curriculum that we have in our engineering pattern, apart from that, you should also have bunch of certifications done and some volunteering experience. For certifications, you can go on udemy.com or coursera.com, and then do certifications on the technologies that you find interesting, like in data science or cloud or machine learning. So yes, certifications really add a value to your resume. Don't just mention the certificate, the course name or the certification name. Add a link or a URL to the certificate as well, so that the recruiter understands when you have done the certification, or he can himself see that it is true, what you're seeing in your resume, it is true. For volunteering experience, every college has its own NSS unit. Now because of the pandemic, there are not activities conducted by the NSS. You can join any Rotaract club or any NGO near your locality, and help people, and not only for the sake of having a certificate, but really if you step out and help others, then it would be really a nice skill or something you can talk in your interviews as well. So yes, that was all about your resume preparation and placement experience or the placement preparation. So yeah, that was all, and